Hello everyone. In this session, we will cover the basic setup of Field AI. In the basic setup, we will also understand the organization setup. Let's cover the organization setup, which includes the tenant email configuration, the tenant Google Maps API key, where we need to put it, and how to do the warehouse and logo mapping for this organization. So let us move to the system. This is your login screen. We will land onto this screen after login. All the widgets are available here for the purpose of analytics. Let us open the window for the tenant. That is the tenant. Under this tenant, we have to choose the tenant on which we are doing this implementation. For example, there is an Express tenant here. We will do this email configuration for the tenant. For this configuration, there are a few settings that you must take into consideration. The first one is the protocol. The protocol will always be SMTP for this email configuration. Then we have to provide a mail host, followed by a port number. There are two checkboxes, which are for SMTP authentication and SMTP TLS. Authentication is always recommended, and we have to do that authentication. Then, we have to provide the same email address in both the request email and the user email fields. We also have to provide the password for the request user. This is the way we have to do these settings. After that, we have to test the email. We have to generate and trigger this process. You will find a message saying that the test email connection is OK. If any setting is wrong, such as an invalid address, and if I test the email, it will not send a mail. It will give an alarm stating that the configuration is not completed or not found. Let me undo and go back. Let me put these values here again and run the test again. You have to use the client's information here. You have to provide the mail host that the client is using. Also, from this email account, all mail communication for the ERP will be happening. The quotations, the invoices, and other things will be sent from this email address only. Then you have to provide the request user and the password for that user. The second part was the Google Maps API key. In the other settings section, there is a field called Google Maps API key, so you have to provide an API key in this field over here. This is a unique key. This will be available on the Google website. You or the client can create credentials on a Google account for the developer version, get this Google Maps API key from there, and provide the values here. This will be used for tracking the resources that we are using in the scheduling and dispatching form. To use that map, we have to provide a Google Maps API key over here. This is how we can configure this tenant. Let's go to that organization window and see what configurations for organizations we have to do before using the field AI for plant maintenance or for the field service request. This is the organization on the organization window. You can search for this organization from the menu, then toggle it. You will get this from the Onfinity or Field AI team. If you wish to change the name of the organization for a specific client, you can do that too. I am saying that because whenever you get any link or instance for the client, you will receive a Google database. In a Google database, the organization will always be a demo organization, for example, Express. In this case, for the client, you have to change the name of the organization here. In the same way, you also have to change the name of the tenant from Express to whatever name you are providing to the client. This is how you have to do this configuration. On the organization level, there is a navigation. You can click on the navigation, and then there is the organization info. On the organization info, there are a few details that you have to provide that are mandatory in the case of Field A-I, whether you are using field service requests, field service management, or plant maintenance. First, this warehouse must be mapped with some organization. You will find all the warehouses that are available, and you have to map them here. First, you have to create the organization. The organization will be created by Onfinity. Then you have to create a warehouse. After that, we have to map our warehouse over here. Then secondly, The second thing is the logo. You have to get a logo from the client for their organization, and you can provide that logo and upload it here. You can click on Open and load it to the database. You can upload it from your local system and save it here. This logo will be available on all documents, whatever printouts you are giving to the customer, like invoices or sales quotations. For all of that, this logo will be traced onto the documents. So these are two mandatory configurations. The first is the warehouse one, and the second is the logo that must be at the organization level. For the rest of the required details for the organization, you can refer to the Onfinity 100 training. In that training, it is explained in detail what fields are required that we can provide and how we can put entries into this organization information. We have covered tenant email configurations, the Tenant Google Maps API key, warehouse mapping, and logo mapping. Thank you for attending.